Hello, everyone. This is Mark Morrow again with another episode of JFK, the Final Investigation. This is episode 5, and it's going to be a short one. Title is JFK Assassination for Beginners, How to Get Started. So if you want to skip right to the point, the best book to read on the JFK assassination, in my opinion, is Clash of Dynasties by Richard DeSocio. It explains all the connections that tie together the common characters that are often brought up in the JFK assassination and how they had the ability to control these people. If you want to start from the beginning, you could always read the Warren Report, but you may instead want to read a book. I'm hesitant to even mention it, but Case Closed by Gerald Posner, and immediately followed up with JFK Assassination Chokeholds that inescapably prove there was a conspiracy, better known as chokeholds. This is by James D'Eugenio, Matt Crumpton, Paul Blow, Andrew Iller, and Mark Adamczyk. The Posner book is definitely leaning towards the lone nut conclusion, which I do not buy by any way, shape, or form. I'm really not interested in reading that book myself, but for somebody brand new, it would be interesting. And Chokeholds basically tears Case Closed into pieces. So again, I'm a big believer in a conspiracy, but it would be interesting to see somebody new, younger, in their 20s or 30s, read both of these books and give us some feedback on what they think. So I'd love to hear that feedback, even bring somebody on a podcast episode to talk about it after reading both books. Other ones include The Secret Team by Fletcher Prouty. This book outlines the key government officials that were used by the cabal to control U.S. foreign policy. Believe it or not, they did not need the president to do this. Next by Prouty would be the JFK, the CIA, Vietnam, and the plot to assassinate John F. Kennedy. Great book, a little bit more on the assassination. Does, in my opinion, very discreetly accuse some of the same people DeSocio does, but in a much different way. It's almost cryptic. So you have to really be paying attention to understand what Prouty is saying. Back to Clash of Dynasties, very important scandals related to World War II are covered in this book. And in my opinion, those ultimately tie to the JFK assassination. It's the same power structure that was involved with those scandals that also killed JFK. Now, it also discusses the military-industrial complex, international finance, and who may have been the actual people that represent those groups. As for podcasts, there's a couple that stand out. There's JFK, The Enduring Secret by Jeff Krugel, and this is excellent, covers many areas of the assassination in great detail. Also, America's Untold Stories by Mark Hubert and Eric Hunley. Similar great amount of information on many topics. Oddly, there's, in my opinion, kind of little overlap. They talk about some of the same characters, but a lot of the information is very different. So again, there'll be a little overlap, but it's kind of cool that they have so much information in both of them and not a ton of overlap. So those would be great places to start in terms of podcasts. I mentioned all the books. I'm going to give a quick plug to my buddy Josh Peach and the Be Awesome podcast right here. That's it for this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.